Aibobo Awoshanago. Hallelujah. Elo Akbar. Alhamdulillah. All praises to the Most High, Yahuwah Elohim Hashem. I am excited to make this video. I am Jasher And Moshes. You see the title of the description. Moses was not a so-called white guy. First off, I would like to give a shout out to thy royal consort for this magnificent pendant, which is giving honor to my forefathers daily. Exodus 20:12. Also want to give a shout out to 13 Love community. 13 Love to the Rabbi Apostle 9 Son of Bay, also known as the Messenger 13th Son. 13 Love to the chief of this dynasty. 13 Love to the prince of this dynasty. 13 Love to all the moderators in their dynasties. 13 Love to all the cosmos throughout the cosmos and their dynasties. So I want to get into this. I want to start a conversation. It's not about me. It's about we. It's about the first book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse 30. We will remember ourselves in our captivity. I will share reference points, particularly with that quote, but I just want to free flow and just get into this. So basically, I was watching this show right here, and I will share my screen. On Netflix, it's called God's Favorite Idiot. Now, on this episode, you're going to see, basically, they speak on who they think Moses is. I'm not going to give it away. If you care to watch it, you can watch it. But this is why I want to start the conversation. Here we go.
This is definitely too late for him.
Oh, it's not a him, it's a bird. It's a girl bird.
Girl bird, oh yeah.
Give me just a second. I'm just
Sure.
gonna go down here and I'm gonna see if I can help her out.
Hi then, how are we friends?
She charged me.
Oh, she
She
charged.
charged me, so she's okay.
Yeah, holy shit. You're like Moses, man. I mean, I think. I don't really know who specifically Moses is. I know he's like one of the white dudes with a beard and stuff. But did Moses kind of resurrect dead birds?
I don't.
All right. So as you can see, let me go ahead and, as you can see from that clip, because I'm trying to just make this real clean, crisp cut. That right there, and also this is the hand of Hamsa, hand of Fatima. The queen also has pendants on the site with this as well. I'll put her website in the description. This is also the Millennial site, but that's another story. Just got to give a shout out. And also shout out to More Crown Jewels. Shout out to Inner Armor 13. And shout out to Tamari for the shawl. And big up for blissing it. Now, this show right here. Let me share my screen. This show right here, you can find it on Netflix. It's called God's Favorite Idiot. It's episode 2, timestamp about 7 minutes in. The writers of this is right here. These are the writers. Now, these writers, they caused them to say Moses is some white guy with a beard. Now, the reason why I want to start this conversation is because shout out to the brother Big Judah, shout out to brother Big Levi, brother Main, Abdullah Seer, and all the brethren and sistren in this truth, proclaiming their birthright of who their ancient mothers and forefathers are. That's how I learned about the book of Jasher. Shout out to 13th Son for encouraging all the TLC Cuzzos to go ahead and start reading the Cepher. 70-30, eat the meat, spit out the seeds. In the book of Jasher, it actually gets into Moses and his backstory. And I'm only going to show one verse. And then, of course, any elders who are more familiar with this, feel free to edify me. You have before. Anyone who has more insight on this, feel free to edify to this. I'm just a student of this truth, of this path, knowledge of self. So, anywho, this is Jasher chapter 72, verse 23. Try to get a good look at this. Make sure to screenshot this. Okay. Screenshot that right there. All right. It says, and Moses, or and Moshes, was 9 years in the camp of Kikianus, king of Kush. All right. And then on verse 42, all right, chapter 70. So chapter 72, verse 42, book of Jasher. All right. Check this out. Screenshot that. Okay. And Moses reigned over the children of Kush on that day in the place of Kikianus, king of Kush. So, again, the Cepher, eat the meat, spit out the seeds. But essentially, it speaks on how Moses was ruling Kush for a period of his life. Now the Apocrypha, that's a whole nother subject matter. Again, anyone with more familiarity with this can please add to this conversation, because this is simply just starting a conversation. But essentially, Apocrypha, biblical or related writings not forming part of the accepted canon of Scripture. So it wasn't accepted. Accepted by who? The Christian Catholic Church. All right. When did this take place? According to Google University, the American Bible Society lifted restrictions on the publications of the Bible with the Apocrypha in 1964. All right. So essentially, the Christian Catholic Church took it upon themselves, the clergy that is, to remove certain books because to them, they felt like it wasn't accepted. Now, I'm not here to elaborate on that. It is what it is. So for those who are not familiar with the book of Jasher or any of these apocryphal books, it's because the Christian Catholic Church did not want you to become familiar with it, period. Now, this is a military operation known as Blanqueamiento. This is something that goes back to the Spanish Inquisition. Shout out to Sister Deborah and her royal consort. Watchman Reports. She made a video on this. This is where I became aware of this word. I mean, we all heard of whitewashing, but this is what it is. And it's a Spanish word going back to, again, medieval times, Spanish Inquisition against the Morenos, which is Moorish Jews, and the Muslims, Muslimen or Mohammedans, right? Branqueamento, or whitening, is a social, political, and economic practice used in many post-colonial countries in the Americas and Oceania, Southeast Asia, Australia, that area, to improve, or Southeast Pacific rather, to improve the race towards a supposed ideal of whiteness. This is also Hawaii area too. So that's their operation. All right, I say no more. Okay. That's why you have in that show that I showed earlier in the video, isn't Moses like a white guy with a beard or something? It's because that's the operation. This is why you had certain books taken out, because this is the operation. This even goes into the Greco-Roman pagan Messiah Caesar Borgia, but that's another conversation. All right, now, having said all of that, we're going to look at some images to stimulate our DNA of memory. All right. Like 13 Sun says, the book is inside of us. The knowledge is inside of us. Tosh the Big Bay says, nature will repair your wiring. I'm going to find those clips and I'm going to post them. But this is some of the kinfolk of Moses in modern day. All right. Russia got a lot of good non-whitewashing, non-branqueamento images of the past. You know what I mean? Shout out to Russia. You know, Big Judah got one of his videos where he shows a book, the Russian icon. Go check that out. Shows those images. All right. more kinfolk. Falasha, Israelites, Ethiopia. Igbo, Igbo, Eber, Eber, which is an ancestor of Abraham, a descendant of Shem. Lemba, Israelites, and Tutsi, right? More kinfolk. And I got this off of one of 13 Sons videos, right? Big Bro Moses. Now, there's another picture right here that I found. This one right here. Yeah, that feels like a kinfolk of Moses. Ancient Israelites. Okay. Got another one right here. All right. This is one of our ancestors. All right. Big Bro Moses. Okay, go ahead and screenshot if you like. Okay. Now, what I want to say is my inspiration for this. Okay, let me go back to the screen. All right. My inspiration for this, and I had to, I messed up the first video, so that's why the background looked different, but who cares about the background? It's about the information. I had a dream a few months ago, and from what I remember, I have nothing to lie about. The wife is a witness, because as soon as I had it, I told her about it. She happened to be awake. I saw an angel that looked like a Nubian, a so-called black one. She was wearing all white, and her presence just felt like love, man. And she told me, "You walked with Moses." That's all I heard. You walked with Moses, and it was a female voice who said it to me. And she also told me, "Your house is spoken about in the Bible." When she said your house is spoken about in the Bible, I was seeing my parents' house in the dream. However, house is like house of Israel, house of Yehuda. So this is a bloodline. So this is my journey of writing my book of life, like the messenger 13th son encourages all TLC cousins to do. This is my vlog journal. This is my testimony. All right, take it as you wish. So that's why I'm really inspired to. That's even what got me started reading the Cepher anyway. So, having said all of that, I want to show this clip and then finish this video. This clip. Let me share my screen. All right. This clip right here is exactly why I really wanted to start this conversation as well, because you have people who are high IQ, intelligent, things of that nature, but they out here practicing Blanqueamiento. Now, shout out to the sister right here. Go ahead and support. This is where I found the clip. Now let's get into it.
That was unexpected.
All right.
But the CT scan has one more surprise for Alejandro. Shammai's ethnicity.
Well, they have just told me that Shammai had a Nubian feature, which means that their ruling family was probably Nubian, and that was unexpected.
That was unexpected for who?
Examining Shammai's anatomy closely, the thickness of his bones and the shape of his nasal cavity, the anthropologists think he was a black African, likely from neighboring Nubia.
Really be trying. How the fuck were you Egyptian looking like a roast chicken like that, huh? Huh? Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
A huge revelation that challenges the prevailing image of the Egyptian ruling class.
We always thought the ancient Egyptian elite were Mediterranean type. And in this sense, Shema is representing the society of the frontier in which different ethnic groups were mixed. At the end, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. Shema was Egyptian.
So Egypt. It's a continent. So they're your people. Well, they're your people. Wait.
Look,
so Egypt.
This is Africa. Middle East, it includes Egypt.
So wait. So
Look at your map.
So Egypt is in the Middle East.
Yeah, in Middle East.
So it's not in Africa. It's not in Africa.
It's not in Africa. Look at your map. History.
About to go viral in 3,
Africa.
2, 1.
Say Africa is dark. Egypt is brown. Like you, it's brown.
Oh, Africa's also Egypt's not black.
Egypt is not black.
Oh,
the lower portion down there, they're black.
Okay. I mean, these look pretty black to me, but they're missing their faces. Right?
That's not black.
It's not black.
It's the color. It's in the painting. It's brown. Look at the painting. It's brown. Look at your map.
Egypt is an ancient African original Nubian civilization that came out of
That's
Sudan.
right, Nubia.
So just relax your backside.
The reason why I'm editing these clips is because the internet is no bueno over here in the country of Hillsborough County, Florida State Republic. So please bear with me. It is what it is. But again, it doesn't matter about, the background. It's about the information. If you can take something from it, that's what's up. More power to you. But the last thing I want to add before I close out the video is this place right here. Right here. Okay. I was raised in Massachusetts State Republic, Boston territory, particularly Hyde Park territory. I'm very familiar with Roxbury territory, which is what we're about to speak on right now. So in the year, I'm going to show you. In the year 2019, I'm going to find it. When was Nubian Square called Roxbury? Called Dudley. All right, so December 19, 2019 is when the Public Improvement Commission unanimously approved changing the name of Dudley Square to Nubian Square. Now, anyone who's familiar with Dudley Square, Roxbury, Massachusetts, which is Boston, Massachusetts, that part, the demographic is almost 100% so-called people of color. Also, your boy Malcolm X, El Haj Malik Shabazz, right? He lived in Roxbury for a period of time. All right, I wonder why. So 1619, 2019, Genesis 15 verse 13, 400-year affliction. Just before the pandemic and all the stuff, they changed this into Nubian Square. I ain't saying nothing. The demographic is largely so-called people of color. I say no more. So 2 and 2 together, when you're saying Nubian, you're saying so-called black. I had to say that, right? Because that's what they be saying. They have so much contempt when they say that word, but that's another subject matter. We're sticking to Moses was not a so-called white guy. He was indeed a Nubian. All right, so I wanted to share that, and you can very much bet that the bloodline of all of these biblical characters were Nubian for the most part. Some amalgamation here and there, but absolutely Nubian. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Why does the skin complexion matter? People gonna say that. Well, it matters because the bloodline matters. That's why it matters. Okay, let me go ahead and end it off and just free flow from the heart. It matters because the bloodline matters. You got people trying to steal our birthright. I say no more. So there's a operation to mind handle us under mind control to make us believe that we're someone who we're not. Okay, not everyone is of this bloodline, but some are. Okay, and that's the main point. So I'm not trying to elaborate. I'm not no teacher or none of this stuff. I'm a student, but I know that I'm a descendant of these people. You got other brethren and sistren, young, old, who also know this. And then you got people who pretending that they are and saying we're not. So I mean, if you do the homework, you do the cross-reference, you'll see what it is. You'll see that these ancient Israelites of 2, 3, 4,000 years ago are Nubian people, period. Moses wasn't a so-called white guy. I'm sorry if that doesn't sit well with your belief systems. It is what it is. 13 love, shalom. If you found something helpful from learning this, share your testimony, share what you've learned, share what you know to this conversation. There's a lot of information out here, and it's like, it's time to make these devils obsolete. Tell the truth and shame the devil. 13.
Always rise. Oh Lord, always rise.